If you've ever walked into work and felt like everyone knew something you didn't, then you'll understand exactly how this story begins. My name is Ethan, and for nearly 7 years, I worked as a senior account manager at a marketing agency just outside Chicago. It wasn't a glamorous job, but I loved it. I built strong relationships with clients, met impossible deadlines, and rarely took a day off. I wasn't the loud guy in the office. I didn't spend half the day gossiping in the break room or trying to impress upper management. I believed that if I worked hard enough, the results would speak for themselves. For years, they did. Every quarterly review rated me as one of the company's top performers. My clients consistently renewed their contracts, and several even requested that I personally manage their accounts. One of them, a regional retail chain, had been with us for over 5 years and generated millions of dollars in annual revenue for the company. I thought loyalty mattered. I was wrong. Everything started changing when our department got a new manager named Melissa. Melissa was the kind of boss who cared more about appearances than performance. She loved meetings that could have been emails, buzzwords that meant nothing, and employees who agreed with everything she said. Within weeks, she started replacing experienced staff with younger employees she described as fresh talent. People who questioned her decisions didn't last long. One Friday afternoon, Melissa stopped by my desk. "Ethan, can you step into my office for a minute?" Her smile looked rehearsed. Inside, she closed the door and folded her hands on the desk. "We've hired a new account coordinator," she said. "Her name is Kayla. She'll be working closely with you." "Sounds good," I replied. "I actually want you to train her." "Sure. Teach her everything. Every client. Every process. Every contact. I want her to know exactly how you handle your accounts." Something about the way she said it made my stomach tighten. "Is she assisting me?" I asked. Melissa paused for half a second. "For now." Those 2 words echoed in my head all weekend. On Monday morning, Kayla arrived. She was friendly, eager to learn, and clearly nervous. None of what happened was her fault. She honestly believed she had been hired to support our growing department. So I trained her. I showed her how to prepare reports, schedule client meetings, handle difficult conversations, and keep projects on track. But there was one thing I couldn't teach: trust. My clients didn't stay because of spreadsheets or presentations. They stayed because, for years, I'd answered their calls after business hours, solved problems before they became disasters, and treated their businesses like they were my own. Relationships aren't something you can transfer in a training session. 3 weeks later, I walked into the office and immediately knew something was wrong. Melissa wouldn't look me in the eye. The HR manager kept glancing toward my desk. Even my coworkers were unusually quiet. At exactly 10 a.m., I received a calendar invitation. Meeting with HR. No agenda. No explanation. Just 15 minutes. I already knew what was coming. I stared at the meeting invitation for a full minute before clicking accept. Deep down, I already knew what it meant. People don't schedule a surprise meeting with HR on a Tuesday morning just to thank you. At exactly 10 o'clock, I walked into the conference room. Melissa was already there, sitting beside Rachel from Human Resources. Neither of them smiled. Rachel cleared her throat. "Ethan, thank you for coming. Unfortunately, due to a departmental restructuring, we're eliminating your position effective immediately." I almost laughed. "Departmental restructuring?" Melissa nodded. "This isn't about your performance." That sentence always comes before they tell you it's absolutely about your performance. Rachel slid a folder across the table. "Your severance package includes 4 weeks' pay, continuation of benefits for 30 days, and information regarding unemployment." I looked at Melissa. "So, after 7 years, this is it?" She avoided eye contact. "This decision wasn't personal." "No." I leaned back in my chair. "You had me spend 3 weeks training Kayla before telling me my position was being eliminated." Melissa folded her arms. "Kayla's position is different." "Really? Then why is she taking over every one of my accounts?" Silence. That told me everything. Rachel finally spoke. "We need you to return your laptop and badge before leaving." I nodded slowly. "I understand." Melissa looked relieved. She had probably expected me to argue. Instead, I stood up. I genuinely hope this works out for you. She gave me a confused look. It will. I smiled politely. I hope you're right. As I packed my desk, several coworkers quietly stopped by. One whispered, "I'm so sorry." Another said, "This isn't fair." But nobody spoke loud enough for management to hear. Fear does that to people. Kayla walked over looking embarrassed. Ethan. I had no idea. I know. I wouldn't have accepted the job if. I interrupted her. This isn't your fault. And it wasn't. She wasn't the villain. Melissa was. Before leaving, I opened my work phone one last time. There were 3 missed calls from Mark Reynolds. Mark was the operations director for Harlow Retail Group, our biggest client. I'd worked with Mark for almost 6 years. He wasn't just a client anymore. We trusted each other. I called him back from my personal phone after I got home. Ethan. Mark answered immediately. Where have you been? I've been trying to reach you. I don't work there anymore. There was a long silence. What do you mean? I was let go this morning. You're joking. I wish I were. His voice became serious. Who handles my account now? I honestly don't know. I don't want someone else. I don't really have a choice. You didn't. I don't. Then he said something I never expected. I'm calling their CEO. I laughed. Mark, don't do that. No. His voice was firm. They've changed account managers 3 times before you arrived. You're the only reason we stayed. I appreciate that. I'm serious, Ethan. I know. The next morning, I woke up to 6 missed calls. 4 were from former coworkers. 2 were from unknown numbers. The first person I called was my friend Daniel from the office. Dude, what happened? You have no idea. What? Mark called the CEO yesterday afternoon. My heart skipped. And? He demanded an explanation. I stayed quiet. Daniel continued. When they told him you no longer worked there, he ended the meeting. What do you mean? He literally stood up and said. Daniel paused dramatically. If Ethan isn't managing our business, neither are you. I sat there speechless. He terminated the contract? Immediately. You're kidding. I wish I was. Daniel laughed nervously. The entire executive floor is in panic mode. I rubbed my forehead. Melissa? Oh, she's having the worst day of her career. By Friday, the story had spread throughout the company. Losing Harlow Retail wasn't just embarrassing. It cost the company millions of dollars. Emergency meetings filled every conference room. Department heads were being questioned. Executives wanted answers. The CEO wanted names. Melissa insisted the client had been overreacting. Unfortunately for her, Mark had saved years of emails. Emails praising my work. Emails specifically requesting that I remain on the account. Emails warning the company not to move me without discussing it first. The CEO saw every single one. Melissa had ignored all of them. The following Monday, my phone rang. The caller ID showed the company's main office number. I almost ignored it. Instead, I answered. Ethan speaking. A calm voice replied. This is Robert Hayes, CEO of Weston Marketing. I figured I'd be hearing from someone. I owe you an apology. I didn't say anything. What happened never should have happened. I appreciate you saying that. I'd like to discuss bringing you back. There it was. The phone call everyone dreams about. I've removed Melissa from her management position pending an internal investigation. I looked out the window. I'm sorry to hear that. No, you're not. I couldn't help smiling. No. He laughed. Can we meet tomorrow? I don't think that's necessary. He sounded surprised. You've already found another position? Actually, I have. 3 days earlier, Mark had introduced me to another marketing firm. Their offer included a higher salary, a leadership position, better benefits, and something my previous employer had forgotten to give me. Respect. I've accepted another opportunity. I understand. But I wanted to personally apologize. I appreciate that. Before hanging up, he said something I'll never forget. We didn't lose our biggest client because we fired you. He paused. We lost them because we failed to understand why they trusted you in the first place. 2 months later, I ran into Daniel for coffee. So, what's new? He grinned. You remember Melissa? I do. She resigned. I wasn't surprised. And the company completely changed how it handles client relationships. What do you mean? They finally realized spreadsheets don't build loyalty. People do. I smiled. Sometimes revenge isn't getting your old job back. Sometimes revenge is succeeding so well that the people who underestimated you are forced to admit they were wrong. I never yelled. I never threatened anyone. I never tried to destroy anyone's career. I simply kept my integrity while others threw theirs away. And in the end, that was more than enough.